Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be testing out the Amazon's bestseller, which is the Polygel Kit from Modelones. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to them for sponsoring today's video, so thank you so much. They're also going to be sending 5 lucky winners a Polygel Kit. The same one that I'm using in today's video, you are going to get a chance to win in today's video. So fingers crossed, good luck to all of you. Now, how to enter. Comment down below whether you have used Polygel or not, and what are your thoughts on it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Now let's get right into it. Getting right into today's video, we're going to start off by unboxing this kit that is complete with everything you need. First, it comes with 6 different polygels, the easy application tips, the brush and picker, base and top coat, both gel products. And then this is a little clamp to kind of hold down your fingernail if you are struggling with the application. And then it comes with a little UV light, which is so freaking cute, the slip solution. And then lastly, we're unboxing the nail prep and nail dehydrator. I'm gonna go ahead and start by prepping my natural nail by simply using the softer side of my file that it comes with. And I'm just going to be prepping it very carefully by buffing off that shine off of our natural nail. This is just going to help roughen up that surface so that the application of our product stays on there and we do not get any lifting issues. I'm going to go in with the middle section of my hand file to very easily file the curvature of my cuticle area. This is very much so needed when doing the area in the cuticles because you can easily cut yourself with the straight side of the file. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and finish doing that. Now we're going to be taking our nail dehydrator and we're going to apply that on the entire surface of our natural nail. This is just going to help remove all the excess oils that our nail naturally produces, and it is also going to help with the adhesion of our product. Next, I'm taking the primer, which is their nail prep. This is going to help everything adhere, and do note this is acid free, so if you prefer an acid free primer, this one is definitely a must. I'm actually going to start using this on my clients as well. I have actually already started to use it on my clients, so I will totally update you guys on that. But I have used it in the past and I remember that the retention was amazing, so I figured I would just go ahead and do the switch, as I have been noticing some of my clients have lifting issues and this is going to help prevent that. So I'm applying a thin layer of that on all of my natural nails. You can see that the nail goes from like a white cast to a moisturized look on the nail, and that is pretty much a good indicator that you fully applied that on there. Once that has been applied, I'm going to go ahead and add my base coat. This is a nice thick gel, so it's going to be very easy on the application process. Very thin layer. Make sure you cover that entire nail. This is also going to help with the adhesion of the product, and I'm going to be curing that under the light for a full 60 seconds. Now, when it comes to the application, I most definitely have never used these tips, but I was so excited to try this process because I know a lot of y'all are not familiar with applying polygel, especially with other tips. So I wanted to go ahead and give it a go, and I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty cool. So in order to make my life a little bit easier, I decided to go in and apply the polygel to the back of our tips way before I applied any of the polygel on my nails. I figured I would just go ahead, pat that in there, get it a nice length. That way I can just easily grab the tip to the nail, press it on there, cure it, and go on to the next without having to pick up my product again. Certain little things can make our life a little bit easier, and I wanted to do that during this process. Again, because I'm not super familiar with the product, I wanted to just go ahead and get that out of the way. So I'm taking my slip solution with our brush, and I'm going to make sure that I saturate that nicely. I do tap off the excess on the side of my dappen dish, and I'm going to simply start patting that into place. This is such a good product and very easy to work with. As you can see, I'm just tapping it. And once I get that nice thin layer that I want, I'm gonna start bringing that down towards the length that I want. So here I'm just sizing that tip. I do recommend go up a size or two depending on your nail bed. Once you apply that product on the back of the tip, it is going to create a smaller size on the nail. So in order to prevent that and make it the right size, you want to go up a size or two in the tip. So measure it to your nail and go up one size so that it kind of overflows on your sidewalls, and that's going to be the perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead again, take a small portion of that, place it on the back of the tip, and then we are going to go ahead and just grab a little bit of slip solution, tap the excess off, and immediately start patting that into place. I did make sure that I focused on the cuticle area being nice and thin, and then kind of just spreading out the rest of it to the length that I wanted and to the thickness that I wanted. Now once we're done applying these, I'm pretty much just going to go into my application. Do note that if you are a beginner, make sure you're not getting the gel on your skin, and if you do so, make sure you are fully removing that, wiping it off. We do not want any type of allergic reaction, especially with gel products. Make sure you guys are paying attention to that. So I'm going to simply go in at a 45-degree angle, apply that at my cuticle, and simply press it down. Now once I have that nice and adhered to my nail, I'm going to flip the nail around, and we are going to pat the bottom portion of the polygel out. I kind of did it just very briefly. It's not a lot of work that you need to do, but you want to make sure that you are flattening that out. Otherwise, you're going to have a big old chunk of polygel underneath that. So for my first try, it came out pretty decent. I did have a little bit of space between the cuticle area and the actual polygel, but first nail that I've ever done like this, I will say it was a success. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process on the rest of the nails, making sure that that cuticle area is nice and thin. And then again, grabbing a little bit more slip solution, and we are simply going to pat that out. Now this is where those little clamps come in place. So if you are struggling and can't use your other finger like I'm doing here, definitely go ahead and use those little clamps. It'll hold that cuticle area nicely in place. That way you can pat it out and then go ahead and cure easily. I am curing these for a full 60 seconds. If you have a full lamp, I would totally recommend using that as well. I went ahead and flash cured these for a bit while I went ahead and applied the rest. And then I did a full cure on my big LED light. So again, pressing that in a 45-degree angle, and then we are going to be cleaning up those sides before we go underneath the nail. I am trying to get all that product up from under my skin. And then just patting that out, holding that cuticle area nicely so that it doesn't move around. I feel like this is such a cool process, especially if you are a beginner nail tech and you're still just trying to figure out whether you want to do your nails or not. This is such a fun product to use and to test out. It is a very easy and quick process to do also if you are in a time crunch, you forgot to do your nails, and you are going somewhere. Definitely give it a go. I honestly really enjoyed these tips. Not to mention that the surface of the nail is going to be super smooth, so very minimal amount of filing is going to have to be done. So again, we're just going to go ahead and repeat that process. Make sure you are being extra careful when patting it so that you don't overly move it. If you do, go ahead and just fully remove it. Repeat the process until you are content with it. But super self-explanatory. The kit is honestly really easy to use. I'm absolutely obsessed with this color as well, so I'm definitely glad that I picked this color out of them. It matches my skin tone very well, and it just looks so pretty for a cute natural set. Now I'm going to be taking that little clamp that I showed you guys at the beginning of the video, and we're just going to clamp down that pinky because the pinkies are always my biggest struggle when doing my own nails. I just don't have any other fingers left, so I cannot hold it down with another finger, and it's just a lot easier to do with this anyways. So definitely take advantage of the little clamps if you're doing them on yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and give it one last little pat, make sure that my application is nice, and we're gonna go in and cure for a full 60 seconds. Next, I'm gonna be taking my cuticle nippers. You can take some nail tip cutters or some nail clippers, and we're just gonna be trimming them to our desired length. I actually am going to be doing a short almond set, so in order to do so, I had to trim some of the length down, and I am actually leaving them a smidge longer than the length that I actually want so that I have room for error. Always make sure you go a little bit longer. That way, once you go in and perfect your shape and you file it nicely, you're not gonna overly file, and then next thing you know, they're a lot shorter than you wanted them to be. So a nice little tip. If you have forgotten to do that, definitely recommend giving that a go, and it'll make your life a lot easier, I promise you, because once you go too short, you cannot go back longer. I'm gonna go ahead and just continue to file those nails. I am filing on the sides, focusing on my shape from the sides, and then I quickly go underneath the nail just to make sure that the whole shape is nice and uniform and nice and round for my almond shape. Now I am taking the softer side of my file, and I'm going to be filing around those cuticle areas just to make sure that everything is nice and flush. Give it a nice little wipe on the nail surface, and then we are going to actually be adding some chrome powder to these nails. I figured I would just do a simple set to share with you guys the process. I am obsessed with how these turned out. We're gonna go in with some chrome base, add a thin layer of that, and fully cure in the light. Now we're going to be taking the gel top coat and adding a thin layer of that over all of the nails. I'm doing my thumb first, and then we're just going to go in with the rest of the fingernails, adding a thin layer of that, making sure all of that is nicely coated to protect that chrome powder. Now, if y'all have been thinking about trying polygel, especially with this type of application or just polygel in general, highly recommend this kit. Definitely will leave that linked down below for you guys. But this is the final result. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I'll see you next time.